Okay, guys. Mm, I want to do something. I have in this channel. If you guys know me, you can go watch my other videos. I've made a lot of math. I've talked about so many things I want to do. But at the end of the day, I didn't follow through. So now I've decided finally that I want to be serious with my life. That I want to practice all the skills and strategies, all the marketing stuff that I know. I want to take this thing serious because it is my work. It is not just the work of we want to make money. I want to do it in a way that I would reach out to people. So I want to create a podcast. And as it is now, I'll put a screenshot of where the podcast is. It's zero, like zero listens. There's really nothing. I don't have any leverage. Nobody knows about the podcast. But I want to grow that podcast in the next 30 days, starting from today, October 15th, 2023. So I have to mention the date so that it's not like, so I can post video anytime. October 15th, 2023. This is my voice. This is me talking. And that will be November 15th. At the end of November 15th, I'll be having 1,000 listens. Should I say per episode or per month? Okay, per episode. Yeah, per episode. So if I'm releasing 2 episodes in a week, that'll be 2,000. If I'm releasing that's 8 episodes or 10 episodes in a month, that'll be 10,000. If it's 1,000 per episode, depending on how many episodes I release, I'll get 1,000 for each. So over the course of 30 days, I'll be doing that, and I'll be updating you guys on how strategies I'm applying, what I'm doing. I want to share this goal now because most of the times what I see people is that they try this stuff and then they share it. I want to share it for so that it might work, it might not work, but I'm okay with it. I'll share the failures and everything. And if you have any questions, if you have anything, all the strategies that work for you, podcasting, to drop them in the description. Now, the platform I'm using for podcasting is Anchor.fm. Well, they've changed their name from Anchor.fm to Spotify for podcasters now. So, usually they've changed the domain and everything, but you can either know them as Anchor.fm or Spotify for podcasters. They're the same thing. It's free. It's totally free. No questions asked. There's no pricing plan. You don't have anything like, there's an upgrade. No, this is completely free plan, and it's owned by Spotify. So you upload your podcast there. And that's what I'm using for podcasting. So um, currently, I have a YouTube channel that I have created for that podcast, but I've not uploaded any video, so I don't really have any leverage for that podcast. Well, the major way I want to grow this podcast, and I saw opportunity there, is Spotify just added a feature where they show you how you are doing well in Spotify chart, like how many impressions you showed on, how many search you showed on, and all the stuff. So I realized that Spotify has search. People are searching Spotify. How can I leverage search to grow on Spotify? Well, it seems it's like that. But there are 3 major ways I want to grow the podcast. 3 major ways that are highly dependent on. The first one is SEO. Now with SEO, it's not just for the podcast. I mean SEO for the website that I'm posting show notes and everything. SEO for the YouTube channel. Like SEO everything. Like just make it easy for search engine to discover it on whatever platform, whether it's the podcast directories, whether it's Google, it's YouTube, or whatever platform. Just make it easy for Google to discover it. The second thing is email and newsletter. So I would be getting people to subscribe and getting to promote my podcast to use newsletters. That way, I can get repeat listeners to the podcast. And but I'm not really majorly on that email and newsletter. The third way I'm majorly on is the social media aspect. Now, currently, the podcast I do audio only podcast because it's easier to record and everything. But I've told myself, because my podcast is at I think 11 or 16 episodes right now. But I've told myself that when it gets to 30 episodes, I'm going to start doing video podcast. I don't know how to make it possible. My phone is not so good; it's terrible. Like it doesn't really have space. I can't even roll up to 20 minutes video. But I'm going to find a way to make it work. I just don't know how, but I'll find a way to make it work, and I'll record the video podcast. Because when I do record video podcast, then it's easier to chop and chop that stuff in and post it on TikTok and post it on Instagram and post it on YouTube and start getting the views and people knowing the podcast and go checking out the podcast and promote the podcast on social media. But majorly I'll be using social media to talk about podcast. I don't really plan on leveraging guests or anything yet. Yes, and I don't wish to spend money on anything yet. But I just want to look for little ways that I can just take a double down on it. But one of the major things that I want to rely on is I want to make my content good. Because right now the content I produce I can't even listen to it. It's so terrible. I want to make my content good in such a way that when someone listens to it, they will want to listen again. That's one thing I love about podcasters. They are more loyal than YouTube or anything. YouTube, someone might just search for tutorial and watch your video. That's it. But podcasters, once they listen to your stuff, they like it. But they will keep listening to your stuff for years to come. Get? So it's easier to retain podcast listeners and podcast, which is one thing most people don't talk when they talk about growth. You get? Uh, that's the consistency, and just I'll be posting 2 episodes every week, 2 episodes every week over the course of the next 4 weeks. So over the course of the next 10 episodes, uh, I'm feeling like I'm too ambitious here, but well, that's good. If I shoot for the stars, I'll fall in probably the moon or something like that, or maybe not the Earth. Maybe we're coming back to the Earth. We just fall outside space or float around in space. You get. So that's the like major try. Over time, I'll share more on the strategies and stuff I'm applying, but I'll share the tools and everything I'm just doing. You get. That's what I'm sharing. So I don't want to talk too much on strategy. Maybe later on when I build the podcast and everything, I'll make a full video when I'm talking about strategy and stuff like that. But I believe that I can do it. Like if I can, as long as I get listeners, it's a win. Well, I want to get 1,000 listeners per episode. That's the goal. And subscribe if you want to get updates. And please ask your questions in the comment section below. Let me know if you have a podcast. Do you wish to start a podcast? Are you interested in podcast? I would really want to know. And just let me know how far, how like let me know how many listeners are you getting. What and do. I want to hear from you. That's all. I don't know what I'm saying. I want to hear from you.